All right, it's Bill here, and you got a little bit different scenery. I'm up at my trailer. It won't be a Leaf video, so if you're looking for a Leaf video, you got the wrong video. World Matchplay Day 1 starts today, and I'm going to give you my predictions plus little thoughts on the draw. But I thought the draw was fantastic. To me, there's only 2 games out of the first 16 that I think you can pick with some relative confidence. Players like Gilding got right. Players like Dolan got Cullen. There was like the draw, just every game is going to be a tough one. So I think great draw. Now, here's what I'm doing. I'm taking stats. So I've gone through the only tournament that I haven't done any work on is the World Cup. I didn't do any stats on the World Cup. It's doubles. It's a completely different game. So I don't think you take those stats, but I've taken a look at every other stat. So there's been 2,522 games played on the floor, European Tour, majors, and the World Cup series. So taking those stats, I'm going to try to use a little bit of stats to try to figure out what's going to happen in these games. So I'm going to give you my predictions. Again, that's 23,810 legs that I have stats for. Which I keep. Here's what I know. Scoring doubles, we all know that. You don't need a rocket science. I don't need a brain to know that. But what I'm looking at is so I've done 100 pluses of legs, but really what I'm looking at is 2 triples per leg. So you get 2 triple visits per leg. And then I combine that with the doubles. And what I have is a score, I'll call it the BS score, the bullshit score. That I'm using for this, and really what it is a combination of your rank against every other player on doubles versus your scoring. And if you take a look at it, I think it holds true considering who's at the top. So the top 10 players this year, using my kind of way. I know they've got hockey, they've got a whole bunch of systems, but I'll call this the BS system. So Gary Anderson, number 1, Luke Humphries, number 2, Stephen Bunting, number 3, Danny Noppert, number 4, Martin Schindler, number 5, although we'll talk about Schindler in just a second. Dave Chisdell, number 6. RVB, Raymond Van Barneveld, number 7. Damon Hedda, 8. Gerwin Price, 9. And Luke Littler, 10. Now, if I take a look at that, that's every one of those players, I believe, has won a tournament this year. So I think it holds true. So now we're getting into the World Match Play where you got the top 16 seeds against the top 16, foreign players. On the tour. And so first game up is Gerwin Price against Daryl Gurney. I think, again, a great draw. These guys is going to be screaming galore. But again, I'm going to use my system. Now, I'm also going to, as I make my bets, I'll tell you which ones I'm going to bet on plus the odds. I couldn't believe Price is like minus 334. It's not that easy to beat Daryl Gurney, especially at the match play. You can ask Peter Wright, you can ask, I forget who the other players he played in that one tournament where he played fantastic. I think it's, again, a lot of these going to be a great game. So you take a look at Price, he's 9th on my scoring system, and Gurney's 27th. So I'm going to use my system, although a little bit later I won't, but I'm going to use my system. I'm going to pick Gerwin Price to win this one 10-8. Next game up, again, another beauty. Johnny Clayton against Raymond Van Barneveld. If you take a look at it, Clayton is 11th. Raymond Van Barneveld is 7th on score. Clayton just won a tournament. This could go either way. I don't even know how to pick this one. There's some good odds for Raymond Van Barneveld if you want to take a look at it. I just think Johnny Clayton will beat him. I think it's going to go over legs, so I'm going to take 11-9 Johnny Clayton in an extra leg. Next game up is one of the ones where I think, wow, this one's going to be a blowout. There's only 2 of them that I think are going to be that way. But Luke Humphries against Richard Pietrescu. Pikachu, the guy who complains, yips, yaps, talks about he doesn't have the mentality for what he's about to get in Blackpool. So he took it out on the crowd because he lost to Bo Greaves, and then he took it out on the crowd because the European Tour. What do you think Blackpool's going to do to this kid? They're going to wreck this kid. Pikachu's getting peekabooed all day long. He's going to get yipped at and yapped. He's not a very, to me, I find him a pretty good player. He's got a really nice throw, but I don't think he has the mentality to be able to handle this. I know they played in the World Championship and Pikachu gave him a bit of a go. There ain't going to be no go in this one. Luke Humphries wins this one 10-3. Next game up, and if you take a look at the ranking, this is unbelievable. Humphries is 2nd in my ranking. Rick Pietrescu is 151. There's only 128 people on tour that have tour cards. He's ranking behind people that don't have tour cards. He's 151st. The only reason he's in this tournament was because of the damage he done in the European Tour. He won the European Tour at the back end of last year and had a nice little run. He has not played well this year, and he will get torched 10-3. Next game up, I believe, is another beauty. Nathan Aspinall against Luke Woodhouse. Now, I've gone back and forth on this one. If you take a look at it, Aspinall's 40th on my scoring. Again, really, scoring, he's good. Doubles, he's been terrible this year. And Woodhouse is the exact opposite. He's 54th, but his scoring's let him down, where the doubles have not let him down. It's going to be... I would take Aspinall most of the time, no problem. But in this case, I don't think he can. He's got the injury. So again, I think it's going to be the only thing about Aspinall, he's a battler. He does stuff on stage. He doesn't get out of game. You're not going to see Aspinall get blown out. He's going to keep going. So I think at some point, Luke Woodhouse. Now, Luke Woodhouse had a great World Grand Prix last year where he took out Chisnell. I think Aspinall just gets over the line. But again, a lot of close games. I think this one's going extra legs as well. I'm taking Aspinall to win 11-9. If you want Woodhouse, it's a plus 137. It might be worth a little bit of coin on that one. I think that's a potential. Now I'm getting the sun in my eye. I'm about to go golfing, so you can imagine. I'll turn down the hat. Don't worry about my looks. I'm not worried about that. The next one up, another friggin' beauty game. Ross Smith against Josh Rock. This is crazy. Ross Smith he's 13th, and Rock is 14th overall in my scoring. Like, can you put it any closer together? Both have won tournaments recently. Ross Smith is one of the biggest 180 hitters in the league. But again, if you take a look at it, they're getting over 140 per leg. Their doubles are pretty much the same. They score pretty much the 13th and 14th. Whoever wins this game is going on a run. So to me, whoever wins this game is in the semis. That's how much I like both of these players. And they're playing in the first round. But I think Ross Smith's got too much for him. I think he's just going to hit way too many 180s. And I think Ross Smith has grown on stage. And he's a previous major winner. Whoever wins this one, take them in the next round. But I like Ross Smith to win this one 11-9. Again, if you think about the first 5 games, I've got 3 of them going extra legs. Next game up, I'm betting on this one. So James Wade against Danny Noppert. Now I'm going against the form here. Wade is 29th in my scoring. Noppert is 4th. But if you look at the last couple weeks, Wade has turned it on. Wade's doubles are coming back. Noppert's a steady player. Again, you would call Danny Noppert the Dutch James Wade. And they're playing each other. What a draw. They both wade. There's a term waiting. You just nail your double. If Noppert can win this one, it can go either way. But I just think Noppert's going to miss doubles and Wade's going to hit something big on a double, 140, 161, something along those lines, just to bury him. I like Wade to take this, and I love his odds. Plus 150. These are pretty even players, if you ask me. Even though you go to my scoring, lately, the scoring for Wade Wade has gone completely up. I believe he was about 42nd 3 tournaments ago. So what he's done in the last 2 tournaments has got him up to 29th. I like where that's going. I'm taking James Wade to win this one 10-7 over Danny Noppert. Next game up, this is where I'm moving against the odds. Dimitri Vandenberg against Martin Schindler. Okay, if you take a look at it, Dimitri Vandenberg scores 35th on my scoring, and Martin Schindler's 5th. However, if I take away the floor, Dimitri Vandenberg plays terrible on the floor, and he plays awesome on TV. He's won the UK Open this year. He's going to slow this game down to a breakneck. It's going to be awful. Dimitri Vandenberg plays games out there, and I don't think Schindler's going to like it. Now, here's the crazy part. Schindler, when he's not in Germany, wouldn't even be in my top 20 for scoring. He actually is he's nearly beats Anderson if you only look at Germany. If you take a look at when he's in Germany, 1.2, 140 is the leg. His double's over 40%. When he's not in Germany, he's way less than 40% on his doubles, and he's pretty close to 1 a leg. It's that much of a difference. The European Tour has been Schindler's key. I don't think he's got it in him And I think even if he does get a lead, you know what Dimitri Vandenberg's going to do to this guy. Dimitri Vandenberg in a major tournament is usually pretty good. He's won the match play before. He's gone to a final before. I think Schindler's just going to fold. So I'm taking love plus 120 for Dimitri Vandenberg over Martin Schindler. Yes, please. Dimitri Vandenberg. So I've got that game. That's one of my parlays is Wade and Dimitri Vandenberg, which pays a nice 5 times my money. But Dimitri Vandenberg to win this one 10-8. Next game up, Stephen Bunting, Ryan Joyce. Again, if you took Ryan Joyce and I said, who are you going to play where you got a shot? I think Bunting's one he's got a shot on. Now, if you take a look at Bunting, he's third. Joyce is 32nd. But Joyce hasn't. The only thing I'm concerned about Joyce is he played in the last 2 PDCs, but he hasn't played a lot of darts this year. He skipped a lot of tournaments. So if we take a look at that, we're going to say, for me, Bunting to win this one 10-7. Next game up is Jean Van Veen and Rob Cross. Again, come on. Van Veen 16th. Rob Cross, surprisingly, 76th. If you take a look at my rankings. He's done really good on the World Cup scene, but he doesn't play a lot of PDC tournaments. He did win. He was ridiculous in one of the Euro Tours. Like, unplayable. And he did have a nice little run on the Premier League near the end. But his last form, he couldn't. He went 0 for 10 against doubles to, I think he lost 6-0 to Michael Smith on the European Tour. Plus 175 for Van Veen. I think Van Veen can do it. I'm taking Van Veen to win this one 10-8. Next game up, Brandon Dolan, Joe Cullen. Brandon Dolan must have licked his chops when he saw this draw. There's a lot of players where Brandon Dolan would have been playing against, and I wouldn't pick Brandon Dolan to win. But Joe Cullen has frankly been awful. He's had a Euro Tour run. That is it. If you take a look at the stats, Dolan's 24th, Cullen's 48th. And he's been, when I say 48th, if you take away that European Tour that he got to the final, it's even worse than that. There's been no form with Joe Cullen. None. I'm taking Brandon Dolan, minus 110. That shows you. It's even odds for Dolan and Cullen. I think Dolan's the better player. Dolan to win this one 10-6. Next game up, again, Peter Wright must be licking his chops. Gilding must be licking his chops to draw each other. There's pretty much 14 other seeds. Maybe I'll say 13 other seeds that if they drew Wright, I'd be picking them. But he gets Gilding. Gilding he beat, I believe, 10-2 in the UK Open. He smoked him in the UK Open. If you take a look at Wright's stats, Wright used to be one of the best 140-plus legs hit. He was always in my top 10. Now Wright is 31st, which is surprising that he's even that high. But he's about nearly 0.9. But him and Johnny Clayton used to be the 140 killers. But he's not scoring very well. He's throwing a lot into the 5, a lot into the 1. Andrew Gilding is 66th. This is going to be one of the most boring games to watch. I'm a big Peter Wright fan, but frankly, this one's going to be bad. Every time these guys play, it's not a very good game. Gilding's slow. Wright's going to play down to his competition. It's just what happens. And I think it'll be a close game, but I like Wright. Now, so Gilding is plus 163. If you want a little shot at that, that might not be a bad shot. But I'll take Wright to win this one 10-7, and Wright must be thanking his lucky stars, but then he'll get Dave Chisnell in the next round. We'll see how it goes from there. Next game up, Dave Chisnell, Ratowski. Again, Ratowski, what has happened to the Polish assassin eagle? Chisnell, obviously, 6th on my ranking. Ratowski, 68th. I still think it'll be a close game. Ratowski's consistent, but his doubles have been just not where they were. He used to be over 40% all the time. He's not even close. I'll take Chisnell to win this one 10-7. Next game up, Damon Head or Ryan Searle. Are you kidding me? Head 8th, Ryan Searle 25th. Wow. Now, I would have took Searle last year in this game, no problem. What Hedda did to Littler on the stage. If you take the 2 top games, if these guys are rocking, this is going to be a game. If Searle's banging his double tops, it's going to be a game. But if I just take recent form, I'm liking Hedda. So I like Hedda to win this one 12-10. I think it'll go extra legs. And then you've got the big one, MVG Luke Littler. For me, this again, Littler would have gone up against Clayton, Asp, Noppert, Dimitri Vandenberg, Bunting, Cross, Cullen, Wright, Chisnell, Dobie, and I'm taking Littler in an easy whitewash. But he draws Michael Van Gerwen. Michael Van Gerwen is plus 137 to win this game. In the first round of the match play, Michael Van Gerwen is plus 137 to win that game. Now, I think this could go either way. But you're giving me plus 137 to take Michael Van Gerwen? Whoever wins this game then gets the winner of Joe Cullen, Brendan Dolan. Now, last year, Brendan Dolan beat Michael Van Gerwen. And then you're getting the winner of Wright Chisnell. You're basically in the semifinals. Like, whoever wins this game is going to the semifinals, most likely. This is going to be a game that I'm watching. But MVG, 13-11 over Luke Littler. And I'm going to take that on my bet. I'm going to take the plus 137. You're never going to get that again. I don't think Michael Van Gerwen in the first round of any major tournament is going to be the underdog. I just think those odds are good. Now, if Luke Littler wins, I'm not shocked. This is not like me sitting there going, I think I know who's going to win. But you're going to give me Michael Van Gerwen a plus 137? I got to take it. The next one up is another one that I think, this is going to be so just like the Humphreys Pietrascu, it's Dobie against Edhouse. Dobie's a choker. He'll choke later on, but he won't choke in the first round. So Chris Dobie is 13th on my scoring. Edhouse is 69th. I don't think this is much of a game. Dobie wins 10-5. And then the last one, Gary Anderson, Michael Smith. Again, what the hell is this? Gary Anderson draws just like Littler, draws everyone else, except for this one. I think Anderson walks it. If Anderson draws right, it's a friggin' walk. But he draws Smith. Michael Smith draws Joyce. It's a walk. These guys draw each other. They got the history. Again, what games we're gonna have in the first round games in the World Matchplay? This is ridiculous. But I'm gonna take Gary Anderson to win this one. 10-8, and I like Gary to go on a run. Why? Anderson's first in my rankings. Michael Smith is 20th. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm about to go golfing. And then when I get home from golfing, I'll watch a little bit of darts on the World Match Play. Cheers.